Hello, hello, hello. If you are new to my channel, welcome in. This is the Queen of Credit. Why do they call me Queen of Credit? Because I help hundreds and thousands of people restore, repair, and revision their credit. What do I mean by revision? To use the bank's money or other people's money to invest, right? Not to get in debt, but to invest. So credit and debt is not the same, right? Credit is anything or anytime you borrow other people's money or the bank's money to make a profit, to gain more money. Debt is anytime you borrow the bank's money or other people's money to be in the negative, right? And you are giving out your money in forms of payment versus using credit to get paid, right, from the banks. So this is my 5 minutes of fame, or your 5 minutes of fame, rather. I want you to drop your city and state, or just simply hello. Kendra Finch is the first one on Facebook that said hello. Kendra, I'm trying to see did I see something from you today. I just strolled across your name today for something in the credit world. Yeah, I sure did. Just looked at your information today, Kendra, from Westland, Michigan. One of my clients. We got Carla in from Michigan as well. Mr. Suave is answering the question right off the bat. Depends on where the 20 acres of land is, right? That's my topic of this podcast. Would you prefer 800 credit score, 20 acres of land, or $20,000? Right? Christina David, hello. Hello from New York. Hello to you as well. Queen, Mr. Suave is from Florida. Hello. How do I pronounce that? Cocaya? Is it Cocaine, Florida? Mr. Suave. We got Seattle, Washington. I love it. I love knowing where people are coming in from all parts of the states. Seattle, Washington, on the is in the house, and Texas. Miss Collier is in. New Jersey is in the house. From New Jersey, hello, Haiti. Curtis is from the South. What does that mean? That means Curtis is Southern, like myself, but definitely not country, right? We got Antonio Thomas in the house. I think Antonio is from Alabama. He's Southern as well, if I'm not mistaken. Raleigh, North Carolina. Hello. We got the 313, Detroit, Michigan, aka Detroit, Michigan, is in the house. Okay, Kendra says she has some alerts. Shantae, good evening from Miami, Florida. Another Florida in the house. We have New Jersey. Hayden from New Jersey. All right. Jeremy is answering the question. He said he would take the 20 acres of land. All right, Mr. Suave. So Cocoa, like hot chocolate. So Cocoa, Florida. What a nice name. Cocoa, Florida. Never been there, right? Cocoa, Florida, rather. Charlotte, North Carolina, right, is in the house. We got Willie James. Is that the 504, Mr. Willie James from New Orleans? NOLA is in the house. Hello, Jim from California. Jim, I heard some not so good news about California. They're saying California, like our governor in Mississippi, is broke, right? Governor of Mississippi, California stating they're broke. They're saying that the $400 stimulus that President Trump is trying to get approved, where 75% will come from federal, the other 100 or 25% will come from states. And many governors of many states are saying we're broke. We can't provide the additional $100. Mississippi and California governors were one of them. RV says 800 credit score all day. Kendra say 800 credit score. We okay. Jim is saying Long Beach, right? All right, heard a lot of good things from Long Beach, Alabama. And Jim said yes, he heard as well. Or Jim is saying he or she, Jim. So they can go either way. But probably assuming you're a male, Jim said he heard it. California is broke as well. And yes, Antonio from Montgomery, Alabama, right? Montgomery, Alabama. So a very interesting comment that I've gotten on Facebook. So I might have a lot more people from Facebook that tune in or statement and that were saying, give me 1 second. That were saying, okay, thank you, Jim. Thank you so much. That they would definitely take that 20 acres of land right off the top. Valerie's from the ATL. She said 800 credit score. Jessica said, I said it before. I'll say it again. I'll take the 800 credit score, borrow the money, and take that borrowed money and buy the land, right? And so a lot of African Americans are familiar with, right, the 40 acres in a mule, right? 40 acres in a mule, because during those times, right, at the end of or abolishment of physical slavery, right, there were more agricultural people, farmers and land possessed the wealth, and because Blacks and or African Americans, right, knew so much about agriculture and producing off of land, right, they knew that if they gave them the 40 acres, right, in a mule, 40 acres in a mule, that they definitely would be able to be very profitable out that land. So many different ways to make money with land, right? So let me look at some more of your comments as we get into the topic of discussion. My affirmation for this podcast is that I am attracting people who are creative versus critical, who hustle and not hate, and focus on prosperity and not poverty, right? Jay said it depends on where the 20 acres is located. My Periscope, make sure you share this with your Periscope followers as well. Said he have already Photo Man 2 out of the 3. Star J, thank you so much for the $4.99 super chat. I have been, I think you trying to say bragging on my video so much. Knowledge, thank you. And thank you for that blessing, Jay. Thank you for talking about my videos. Thanks for sharing my podcasts and videos with others. You all know I did my last video was on credit and the C word, right? And they are hiding. I'm getting so many comments off of that video. And I knew that it probably would not get the views that I wanted. Just when you mention that word, right, on this platform on YouTube. And so they are actually prohibiting or limiting the comments. I'm getting very positive comments from it, but they won't even really allow me to broadcast the positive comments. So, you have something when people don't want you to talk about it, right? Or when it's limited to the amount of views that it gives people. That's when you know that you've transitioned from just sharing information, right, to knowledge, because knowledge is powerful, right? Knowledge is powerful. And so when things are like that happen, you know that you are empowering people and changing their paradigm and educating them for better, right? And oftentimes that doesn't get the views if I was just coming on my on my platform and just talking about the latest gossip, right? But because I teach and educate people, it's not always the hot spots, but I am believing that this will start getting more people in this economic situation to get thousands and hundreds of people on at a time, right? So, but definitely anything that's financially empower people as far as education, it doesn't always come easy. So thank you so much for the super chat, right? Jesus from California said states that pay more in federal taxes than they take and always broke. California only keep 0.88% on the dollar. Maybe Jesus, I promise you, before I read that last sentence, that's what I was thinking. Most people that get up and go get a job, they only keep 60 to 70% on the dollar because they get taxed so high. And that's why I try to tell people, man, you're always hustling backwards if you don't find a way to keep more of the money that you make. Right. So maybe California does need to start a home-based business. You're absolutely right. Antonio says 800 credit score so I can leverage the bank. Thank you, Jesus, for thanking Star as well, the contribution. I really do appreciate that. Exactly, Jessica, exactly. Okay, Martin from Detroit said, take the land. Hello, my 5G friend. So glad to have you on. 20 acres worth more than 20K any day. Okay, Brian. Jalicia said, do you work on people credit? That's what I do. I work on people credit. I make it do what it do, as Ray Charles say. Make it do what it do. Right, Jesus, where has he been? He's been gone too long, right? Tadaka, social media or media period, for that matter. And Sadaka, while you're on my live stream, I need to make sure that that's the only thing on your TransUnion report, right? Because I don't want to send in another challenge and it was 2 more accounts. So make sure that is just that one account, right? That needs to be re-challenged, and send me another email after this and let me know. Nurse Shannon from Horn Lake, Mississippi. I know you. I sent you an email today. So make sure you check your email and that question in that. Kendra, you are also, oh yeah, I just told you. Thank you so much, Queen and Nurse Shannon, 2 queens for the $25 and the $10 super chat. Thank you all so much. And you all also take the time to hit the thumbs up. You might have to exit out the live chat and hit the thumbs up, but thank you all so much for the super chats. I'm going to make it worth your while. Jesus said, I take the 20 acres, can't print land like you print 20K. Okay. I would love for you to work on my mind. I'm not a licensed mental therapist. Oh, I think you meant on mine, MINE, for credit. Okay. Probably just a mistype. I'm sorry. I do like to laugh a lot. So if it's all right. So this is what you do. Go to my website. This is the link, www.fixmycreditandcash.com. I'm going to share the screen with you. And this is you select credit help. I also have business about the home-based business information here as well. Select credit help. Go to custom credit analysis. It's $125, but that's also included in the price reduction if you sign up as a client, and it also includes deletion of addresses, names. No credit repair business does that. But a little known secret that did in those deletions, if you have more than one reporting, adds 2 to 3 points to your credit score. And it also helps in the credit challenging process of getting accounts that are connected to the addresses deleted too as well, right? Because wherever your residency was at the time that account was negative, whether it was a collection a credit card charge off and they were mailing the notices at that address, and maybe you have since moved or relocated, right? It's a direct connection together. And once the addresses are deleted, it makes it much easier to get the negative account deleted as well. So that's just something I do in my secret sauce or formula, in which brings success. So yes, thank you all so much, Nurse Shannon and Kendra, so much for your generosity. And as Azu said, making the channel better, right? So that's where you will go for credit assistance, right? Okay, Nurse Shannon, I got you. All right. Antonio says, since following you, my financial literacy has increased. My credit has improved. My pockets are getting impressive. Oh, thank you so much, Antonio. Thank you so much for that testimonial and kind words. I really, really appreciate that. So let's get into the topic of discussion. I'm going to allow you all, or to let you all look at some of my Facebook comments, right, on the topic. I don't think it's a right or wrong answer. I think it's an honest answer, right? And we'll just break it down and see. 64 comments. A lot of people said land. Land, I can make money selling organic produce, or depending on how much my land is, I can sell a small portion to make money if needed. Dallas says, some people ask, where is the land? Right. Where is the land? Wherever you will want the land to be, right? Wherever you will want the land to be. Land, again, you can make money and build your credit, but you can't build or make new land. Very interesting. Just very interesting. Very good, valid point. You can't, God is not producing. He's not making any more land, right? Not making any more land. 20 acres outright, 20 acres prime real estate. Okay, great, great. Someone says, she give me the credit. Another 800 credit score. Land, I sell burial plots. That's a great point. Land, because I will build my assets on the land, which will help me build my credit and give me financial freedom, taking care of the money aspect. Mr. Dent, that's on the live stream, says 20 acres off the top. Craig said the average 20 acres, I'll take the 800 credit score because of what that saves. At that score, they barely look at your, I thought this was an interesting point as well. They barely look at your income level. They just grant away the loans at the lowest interest rates, and interest rates are way low now. Loans and credit is dirt cheap. The cheapest you're going to see in a while, right? On the other hand, if we are talking about 20 acres like developing Manhattan, I'll take that and run, right? Right. A land again, $20,000. I already have a good credit score. Okay. 20 acres, 800 credit score, because it's the only thing that can bring in the rest. Land, 20 acres of land full of sellable timber. Great comments about what you can do with land. Burial slots, develop property. You can develop agriculture, right? Also, 800 credit score can both finance the money and the land. Any land won't do. I thought this was interesting as well, because our land isn't good. Example, 20 acres full of hollows and no trees. And then someone else said timber off land, but full of trees or land can be a gravel pit. Example, 20 acres full of hollows and no trees, but full of trees or land that can be used for a gravel pit, right? So he's saying our land is not good. Land, I want to have a lot of land. Community gardens, chicken coops, and dope ass hide and seek games. I don't know what they mean. You're not gonna tell me about the hide and seek games that you can do with land. Someone said 800 credit. Land, the other two I'm already close to. The land was a better investment. Another person said 800. The land because it hardly goes down in value. I'm going with desirable land, right? He said desirable land. Only 20 acres is more than $20,000, and your credit will raise if it's low. All very true. 800, the ability to borrow. 20K is equity, the power to build wealth, purchase, and is transferable to future generations. Uh, 20K is equity, the power to build wealth, purchase, and transferable to future generations. Land equals equity, the power to build wealth. Live on it and is transferable for future generations. I'll take the land. Great point. Not to be mean, but with the 800 credit score, you can write your own ticket. I didn't know what that meant, not to be mean. So let's look at it, right? Let's really look at this and analyze this and see what you all are saying as well. Carla says the government can tell you what to do with the land. 5G said, I'll take the land. JB said, takes the land. Wave said, 800, please. That person with the 20-acre burial plot should also start a life insurance business with all the bodies they put. Exactly. Yes, 20 acres in Texas may be an oil field jackpot. Take the 20 acres and hide underground. Dig for black gold and Texas tea. The way the economy was decimated, a fool would refuse to buy land and rebuild. A fool would refuse to buy land and rebuild. What do you mean a fool would refuse to buy land? 5G. Oh, she explained it. Let me go up. Carissa says, they must hit the comment. I don't see it. I didn't see it. Oh, I see it now. Okay. I got you. And hide underground. So this is my input intake, right? All of it take a mindset. All of them are assets, right? All of them are assets as well. So let's break down the 20,000. The 20,000. I think I'm gonna be out of paper soon. Right. So you know with the 20,000 that you're gonna get taxed right off the top, right? At least 6.2%. So I'm sorry, I'm thinking about federal taxes. I'm thinking about employee paycheck taxes. 20,000 lump sum, you're going to get taxed anywhere to 30 to 40%, right? Capital gains taxes. So let's start at the low end, 30%. And so from the top, you have $6,000 taken away, leaving you with 14,000. Then you have to look at inflation tax, which is going to be roughly 3%. Inflation is the rise of goods and services or costs. Opportunity cost is what I love to call it, right? So this is $4,200 taken away. It's what I love to call opportunity cost. So then you have what is there, like $9,800 left? Is that $9,800? Yeah, $9,800. Because most people, as you all know, do not have the financial IQ to keep the government from taking their money. Not even out of their paychecks at 6.2%. So that's why with President Trump's big thing about payroll taxes, right? And I know people don't like the long lasting effect of what it would have on Social Security and Medicare. But I would like for people just to get a taste of that, to see how much money that they're losing to the government in form of taxes. I would like for them to have that until the end of this year, so they can really understand why home-based business is a number one asset if you have a job. Now, I'm going to break down how taxes keep people broke, right? If you, for example, have a $50,000 a year in gross income, right? Cash is an asset. It's just the lowest yield asset that it is, right? It is an asset, but it's just the lowest yielding asset that it is. So at $50,000 a year, 6.2%, which is what your federal taxes is, equals $3,100 a year out of your paycheck, which is about $258 a month. $258 a month. And this is why when people get into home-based business, their paycheck or their take-home pay averages from $200 all the way to $800 or more based off their income a month. Because through a home-based business, you're able to offset the amount of taxes that you pay to the federal government, because now you have 475 business tax deductions to claim. On a salary of $150,000 a year, I'm running out of space. $150,000 a year, right? Gross income, or your gross income, 6.2% is $9,100, which is $758 a month. $758 a month, a person that earns $150,000 gross a year. That's why they call your income gross. More, I think Texas Tea will be oil, right? Texas Tea, is that oil? 5G said families is the reason why most companies prosper. If you have the power to buy land and mark it down for outsiders, then you were able to build an empire with your family. Okay. Now, a person that earns $250,000 a year gross, that's 6.2%. And this is not even including the 1.5% of Social Security and Medicare, right? That comes out, right? And I'm just going to say this: Social Security should not be a part of your retirement plan anyway. I'm just sorry. Because you still, by the time you draw that, inflation and prices are so high, you still don't have enough to live off of. That's why you see a lot of the elderly, or you used to see a lot of the elderly, saying, "Welcome to Walmart." Right? A lot of people drawing Social Security and pensions still don't have enough to live off of. So this is about $15,500 a year, which is $1,000, almost $1,300 a month. That's still in your wealth. $1,291.66. Till you get the middle class to understand this, until you can identify who's stealing your wealth, you'll always be hustling backwards. It's this book out there says, "Who stole my cheese?" But I think you are, or who moved my cheese? You all need to be asking the question, who stole my money? Who's stealing my money? If I offer you a job and I told you I will pay you 60 cents for every dollar you earn, or 70 cents, you would think that's ludicrous. But if you look at your check stubs, you'll see that's happening every pay period. Every time you get paid. And most middle class or poor working middle class wants to do. I consider middle class anyone that's making six figures. If you're not making six figures, then you shouldn't refer to yourself as middle class. You're a poor working class, but you're not middle class at all. Right? I know someone makes a $250,000, my family member, and he considers himself middle class. And I'm saying, there's some people in Mississippi that makes 50 or 60,000 a year, and they say they're middle class. So which one of you are the true middle class? You got a person that makes 250,000 in Texas that's saying they're middle class, and then you have someone 50,000 saying they're middle class. Both of you can't be middle class. That's a $200,000 gap. Cash is not king. Cash is the lowest yielding asset there is. That's why banks won't give you high savings rate to store it. Cash earns about 0.3%. So it's not king, right? It's the lowest yielding asset out of all the assets you can have, and it's the highest tax. Meaning that for every dollar you earn or you keep or you're gifted with, you're going to, if you don't know the game, how to play the game, you're going to pay out 30 to 50% in taxes. And see, this is what a lot of people don't get. Let me say this, and let me emphasize this strongly. And I told a friend that I was talking to today this. I said, money never fights money. Whether you all are watching this live or in the replay, I want you to make a mind message connection, and I want you to put this in the comment, right? Money never fight money, ever. Only people without money fight against each other. Money never fight money, meaning the Democrats and Republicans, they're not going to fight. They give you entertainment on television. They're not going to fight against each other. Right. Money never fights money. Ever, 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 ever. I want a Republic. I want to fight. Money never fights money. Ever. Never, ever happens. So for people that feel like, if I can just vote this person in office, and we're going to get into the land with this, right? Thank you. It never fights, never, ever, ever. Rising 89 asks, how long does it take to move a 700 to 800 credit score with your program? To move to 800, you have to have a long history of good payment, history reporting to your credit report, right? To your credit report. And I was having this conversation again with some young men, 24 and 28 years old. And I tell them, I say, you know what the poor working class do with their credit that the rich and wealthy don't do? Number one, they never ever co-sign for people, not even their family members that's not worthy for you to co-sign. There was a young man, 28 today, told me his sister asked for him to co-sign for something. He said, I'm not co-signing for you. You don't pay your bills. Very smart answer. Number two, Usually people with high credit scores, what people don't know, credit is inherited as well, right? Or it can be passed down generation to generation, meaning that your child could be added as an authorized user to your good credit cards in history before they turn the age of 1. Did you know that? Your child could be 5 months old, 6 months old, and you can add their name as an authorized user on your credit cards so they can begin building history of good credit. But what people that pass generational bad credit do is they get utilities in their children's name before they turn 18. Then when the child turns 18 and they're ready to pull and look at their credit score, they have a bad utility charge-off reporting, right? So you got one mindset that says, I'm going to add my child as an authorized user and start building positive credit history. And you got the other mindset that says, I'm going to put this light bill or utility bill in my child's name, and then I'm going to charge it off and not do good by it. And when they get 18, they're starting with a 400 credit score, but then the other child, when they turn 18, starting with 800. So you have to have long payment history of good credit, right? No negatives within the last 2 years, no bankruptcies, period. Now, you can have a high credit score with a bankruptcy, especially as it ages out. Chapter 7 is scheduled to stay on your credit report by law up to 10 years. But you will get denied for a lot of the things people want, like business credit and sometimes homes, right? But mainly business credit. That's why it is so easy for an 18-year-old to get a student loan debt versus get business credit approval. Did you all see today? Let me show you all this. I was so glad when I got this email that someone in my business credit referral had got approved for $24,000. And why is that? Because I'm so elated when people do get business credit, especially the business credit that does not report on your personal credit report. And often business credit lines are higher than personal credit lines, and it doesn't impact your credit report in a negative manner, right? There's my article on Mississippi can't afford the $100 jobless benefit supplement. But this is my post of this client is a referral from Latanya Deloach, who has been CC'd in this email. Total approvals, $24,500. See former LLC application process. Helping somebody else acquire business credit in their LLC, right? So very glad for that today. And so those are things wealthy people teach their children to look for businesses, or they include their children in a home-based business and they get up to $12,000 business tax deduction from doing so. So your expenses become assets. People that have the other mentality tell their kids to look for jobs, right? So an 800 credit score depends on your history of good history, good payment reporting. So having no credit in most cases is just as bad as having bad credit, because if you don't have a history profile of good credit over years and time, then it'll be impossible for you to reach into that 800 credit score club, right? So I hope that helped with you as well. Money never fights money. Politics is political wrestling to screw the working people. Well, my thing on that is, if you know the game they're playing, why are you still trying to play it? If you know what they're doing, you're going to complain about what they're doing, then why won't you move yourself into this bracket on the side that they're on? Why do you keep being in this side where you're getting taxed the highest? Why do you keep being an employee? Why do you keep as a LLC or make sure my mic is on? Okay, I think my mic got unplugged when I moved. So are you gonna complain? That's why I say I don't look for people that complain, I look for people that's creative. Are you gonna shift yourself? That's why we call it income shifting to another side of the cash flow quadrant. Are you gonna be over here complaining as an employee? No, knowing that your wealth is being stolen. Are you gonna shift yourself on the other side of the cash flow quadrant? If you know that you're losing the game, why won't you change your mindset? It costs or the investment to start a home-based business at $228. To get more of your money in your pockets or your purse or wherever you put it. And people don't want to do it. They want to complain about what the politicians are doing when you know you have a president that's entrepreneur minded. Stop expecting him to come to your level and you move up to his level. Right? Stop expecting President Trump to come down and reach the poor middle class and instead get on his side of the bracket for a small investment of $228 and stop complaining about it. Stop whining. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. Martin, Beverly Hillbillies, Black Gold and Texas Tea. Yeah, Beverly Hillbillies is a good reference to land. So I've already talked about the disadvantages of having cash, right? This is the disadvantages of having cash. You're gonna pay Uncle Sam the biggest lump sum. As in a millionaire, NBA, NFL basketball player, et cetera, everybody you want to talk to. Yes, bankruptcy can be the lead off. Anything that's reported, not reporting, 100% accurate or unverifiable or incomplete by the law of the Fair Credit Reporting Act can be deleted. If you don't income shift right, you'll pick up an extra shift. That's true, which means a second job. You can income shift or you can, that's good, Jesus, or you can pick up a second shift. But the thing about it, there are no jobs available now. There are no second jobs, right? Hank said my job is offering a severance plan right now. I may accept it after seeing your presentation, creating some sort of home-based business. I need to do some. Okay, Hank, that's a great idea. Immediate, right. And also in that severance plan, whatever way you can move your money that you get taxed less, do that. Because I'm gonna give an example, right? And I don't like to share this example much, simply because, right, Carissa, I want to tell people stop whining. I share stories of my divorce so I can relate to people. My motto or mantra for women is don't deal with a broken heart and a broken handbag at the same time. But you wouldn't believe how many women email me or they suggest my ex-husband messed up my credit. And even some men tell me their ex-wives messed up their credit. And I'm not saying that be true most of the case. But that wasn't my story. My ex-husband didn't mess up my credit. I always fixed and repaired his credit. So I didn't allow that to happen to me, right? My thing was because I learned income shifting and I was losing an additional income, right? That I added more money out of my paycheck. That was the first thing I did. So I got an additional $500 a month by joining a home-based business, right? Now, what I mean by this is I received some money as a result of my divorce from retirement. This is why I'm saying this, because Hank mentioned about the severance package with his job. And in that retirement, if I would have pulled that money out, I would have been highly taxed on it. So what I did was move that money into something called ROBS, a rollover business, right? Savings, a ROBS solution, rollover business savings accounts. And in ROBS, if I use that retirement money to invest, in which I did, I invested in real estate, I would not be highly taxed on just pulling that money out. So in your severance plan, look for more ways to keep more of that money to make it last long, right? So am I sentimental to, people that credit get messed up after divorce? Yes, I am, right? But I'm saying is, in my Michael Jackson voice, with love. That's not going to make me more sympathetic on my services and my pricing, right? It happens, life happens, divorce happens. Credit restoration repair is an investment just like anything else. And I'll tell anybody, your biggest investment when going through a divorce is not being cheap and getting the best legal attorney that you can get. Because had I been cheap, I would not have gotten the financial rewards that I got out of my marriage. So a lot of people try to be cheap on professional services like credit, right? Like a lawyer. And as a result, you get cheap financial results, right? So professional results require professional pricing. Everything that I've gotten in life for free costs me more in the end, except love. And even love, I'm like Tina Turner. Sometimes what love got to do with it? That'll cost you too. If you get in love with the wrong person, right? And even love requires work. To stay in love, to be in love, that requires work and effort, right? Nothing in life is free. So the only thing about credit bureaus is that they are corrupted. It's a matter of time before they are extinct. I doubt it, because they're $1 billion business industry. And you know what? I don't think the credit agencies are corrupted. Now I have to break down land and credit, the other two choices of this video. But I don't think the credit agencies are corrupted. They're just reporting what you're doing wrong or right with your credit. Why are they corrupted? The only thing they have to do is report it with 100% accuracy. If you do everything right with your credit, you get over 800 credit score. That's not corruption. If you do wrong things with your credit, you get a low credit score. ROBS solution, rollover business savings. Yep. Queen of attraction. That's it. 5G says grab land, tornado, lightning, earthquake for free. You are good. How do I feel about money market account? I don't like anything that gives me a low rate of return on my investment. So I don't like money market account. Never heard of ROBS. 1 second. See, this right here is worth investing in, just because I'm sharing you our information, but you don't know. This right here is worth. See, this is stuff that people would charge you to find out, to tell you. They would charge you for this. But here you go. Because of the people that gave the super chat, you can thank them. And they're not even the ones that, probably wanting to know. That's usually how life works. It always takes the sacrifice of other people's to help the minority to help the majority. So here's Rob's. This is the company I use. How to finance your business with Rob Solution. I just so happen to have them right on my website. And this is what they do. They also help with SBA, PP, loan guidance. You can roll over 401ks, all of that, and get tax less. Yep. So there's Rob's. Rollover. I'm sorry, I quoted that wrong. Rollover Business Startup Solution. I quoted that wrong. I'm glad I went on the website. So let me put this in my link. Rollover Business Startup Solution. So let's get to the 800 credit, right? Right, please don't be cheap. I'm telling you, when it comes to legal, people want to be cheap with everything, with credit repair, with legal services. And my attorney told me some things I didn't even know when going through a divorce. For example, did you all know that most women found that Mississippi was an alimony state and they could not get alimony when they divorced? Not even true. I get alimony and got retirement. And so this is Rob's Rollover Business Startup Solution. Jesus says a great philosopher said, love ain't free. I take that back. Yeah, you pay more when you end up being cheap and want to cut costs. So that's Rob's. Thanks for the people that gave, Nurse Shannon and everyone that gave the super chat. Had they not given, I probably wouldn't share that with you. Right, Kendra, these are the people you all need to thank, because I decided to share that information because they donated. Because I want people to get out of the mindset that they deserve something for free. Right? People need to get out of their mindset. If you don't invest in yourself, why should other people invest in you? So let's look at land, right? Let's break down land. We talked about so many different things you can do with land. The asset of land, we talked about. You can put property on it, residential, multi-unit property. We talked about oil can be found on land. Minerals can be found on land. Towers, cell phone towers, you can lease them out on land. Burial slots, agriculture, marijuana, kush, you can grow those on land. Crops. The land is so rich, but let me tell you the one thing that the number one best-selling book on prosperity says that you should not do with land, right? That you should not do with land. Somebody put, you out where you watching this live in a replay, put Credit Church in. Let's have Credit Church. Let's have Credit Church. I put Credit Church, whether you're watching this live in the replay, hashtag Credit Church for me. And Matthew 25:14, for the kingdom of heaven is like a man traveling to a far country who called his own servants, people that work for him, and delivered up unto them some goods. And to one he gave 5 talents, and to another 2, and to another 1. To every man according to their own ability. And he went along with his journey. Then he that received the 5 talents went and traded with the same and made the other 5 talents. 5 talents. And likewise, the one that received 2, he also got 2. So they multiplied their money. Let's say they multiplied their money. Multiplied their money. But he that received 1 went digged it in the ground. We're talking about land, right? Talking about real estate. He digged it in the earth and he hid his money or hid his talent. And so he that received 5 came back over time and said, Lord, you delivered me 5. Behold, I have 5 more. I have gained. And his Lord looked at him and said, well done, you're a good and faithful servant. You have been faithful over a few things. Therefore, I will make you rule over many. Enter into the joy. See, you know what? Even the Bible says that when you multiply your money, it brings joy. Say, enter into the joy of thy Lord. And he that received 2, he came and saw, you delivered me 2. Behold, I gained 2 others beside them. He said, well done. He called them good and faithful. I will make you rule over many things. See, when you multiply your money, right, you get rewarded and you get rulership. Means I won't let you control anything. Own anything, but I would allow you to have control. See, the rich and wealthy knows the secret to success is to own nothing, but control everything. Right? The reason why the rich and wealthy don't want to have ownership over a business but control is because simply they don't want to get sued. They don't want to get sued for their true assets. But the one that had the little came and said, Lord, I know you was a hard man. You are so hard. That's why I hear people, President Trump is so hard. Oh my God, a Republican, he's so hard. Why don't you just give us? Other countries are giving $2,000 a month. Just give us money. Give. We don't want to work. We don't want to trade. We don't want to be creative. We don't want to do anything different. We just want you to give. I just want to whine. And say, I know you was a hard man and you reap where you don't sow. Meaning you go out and you make investments. Without hard work, without labor, you learn leverage. See, the master leveraged them. He didn't tell them what to do to be creative. He just said, I'm going to give you money and I'm going to leverage your time and your talents. And when I come back, because I gave you credit, I gave you the talent to make more, to multiply your money. I gave you credit. I'm going to expect a profit of return as well. See, credit is something you don't have to work for. It's given to you. It's somebody else's money. And it's up to you to decide how you are going to be creative and multiply it. That's the power of credit. So these 3 men were given credit. And one of them decided, I'm not going to do anything with my credit. I'm afraid of credit. I had a bad experience with credit cards. And I think that when you use credit, you pay other people interest. But don't you know you can use credit to pay yourself interest as well? Credit is not the gateway to poverty unless you use it that way. I can go over this Bible so many times and teach you how credit is used for prosperity and not for poverty. This is one of them. Now, I know people like Dave Ramsey teach you the Bible differently, right? So he said, I was afraid and I went and I hid my talent in the earth, in the land. And here, I didn't lose anything. I'm giving you back what's yours. And his Lord answered and said to him, you are wicked and slothful. He said, not only are you wicked because you make excuses and you're only giving me back what I gave you. So I think the definition of evil is that when I give to people, they give me nothing back. If this man is wicked because his Lord gave him something, say I give people financial education and wisdom, and they give nothing back. I take out my time, do the live streams, right? So yeah, let's have credit church. Let's have credit church. So he told him, you are wicked and you're slothful. How many times do I have to come before you and show you how credit can be flipped to create prosperity, and you're slow to react? And you know what? I've been telling you all since January of this year, credit soon will only be available for the elite. You won't have to worry about credit being accessible to you pretty soon to say, well, it's because of credit that I'm in debt. Pretty soon that opportunity is going to be closed for you because FICO 10 is making credit more difficult for people to get. And you're being slothful. And he said, well, I reap where I don't sow, and I gather where I have not screwed or worked hard. You should have at least put my money to exchanges that at my coming, I should receive my own with usury or with interest. And he said, take the talent from him and give it to the one that have 10. See, you all have this government things all wrong. The Bible never tells people that don't multiply their money and they're slothful that you should get stuff for free. That's not even biblical. He said, when you're slothful, when you don't want to multiply your money, you're slow to react, and you want to get in sushi, isn't that right, Kay? Yes. Hey, my love. You're going to someone. My daughter just woke up. My daughter was so proud. She made $1,500 commission. I tell her profits are much better than wages. I'm teaching her that in life.
And Bitcoin.
And she said something about Bitcoin. Let me tip in credit church. Hello, Mr. Felix. Excellent woman of God, man of God. Yeah, no, just room temperature. I'm sorry, I'm talking to my daughter. Mr. Felix Anderson, one of my favorite person in the whole wide world. You all make sure you subscribe to him on YouTube, follow him on Periscope. You're talking about a man with financial and spiritual biblical wisdom, a life coach. He's the person. I just ordered one of his books and it's in my car. How to Dominate Your Distractions. That's good. Yeah. So hello, Mr. Felix Anderson. Yeah, I'm giving out gems and people might not like it. It is not biblical for people that are slowful and lazy to get anything. This is why the rich always get richer. Because they know how to multiply their money and they know how to keep more of the money that they're made out of taxes. Right? You don't want financial wisdom, you want handouts. You don't want real assets, you want liability. You know what the definition for assets is? And I'm going to add something to this. Yeah, pretty soon credit will only be available for the rich. I promise you all. I'm warning you all. Credit right now is dirt cheap, right? Dirt cheap. You can invest in real estate with credit, the bank's money. You can get real assets that the Bible tells. Anytime the Bible mentions money in here, it's not talking about this printed paper. It's talking about gold and silver. I've been telling you all that whenever the economy crashes, gold and silver is always used to reset the currency system. Right? Real assets. And that you need a home-based business. It is the best leverage income that you can make because you're not dependent on your own efforts. See, that's one of the things in Matthew 25 that this guy did. Not only did he bury his talent in the earth or in the ground, but he depended on himself. These other men went out and traded. I'm sure they went into the marketplace, right? Do I help set up the home-based business? I do. The rich and wealthy always use other people's money. They never use their own. They use cash as an asset to get capital. What is capital? Capital is OPM, other people's money. They use cash as an asset to get capital, right? So now, what is capital? Capital is other people's money. It's the bank money. Use credit to get capital. The woman in 2 Kings chapter 4 used credit to create a home-based business, right? To get out of debt, to get out of bad debt. Yeah, we have a saying that the Bible is simply a book about banking. There's over 2,000 scriptures in the Bible about money and wealth and money management. So if a person is called wicked because they took something that someone gave them, an opportunity, which was credit, and did nothing with it, what is the people that take information and knowledge for free? At least he gave the man back what he had given them. Some people don't even give you that return on investment when you give to them. Jonathan says too many people in the community are scared of it, like the card burn their hands. Right. I love credit cards. 0% interest rate. And I can get real assets with them. I have real estate on credit card. I have my home-based business, my first investment on my credit card that I get paid daily. Daily pay keeps recession away. Daily. All of my other tangible assets have been purchased through credit card at 0% interest. I love it. Jumbo says, I have a 34 credit score. Now I'm stacking my cash so I can buy assets. I know. That's why I told people that you don't want to be paying down debts right now. Let me tell you also, I'm going to tell you another asset. And I forgot to tell you the definition of assets. Asset is anything that puts money in your pocket that requires little to no work. Now, me, I might have done this backwards, right? Thank you, Mark. He said he loved an intelligent woman. I got the credit score to get the real estate. Now, if I was offered 3, and all things being equal, 2 things about credit and real estate people is that both of them takes a creative plan and process to be prosperous out of. Because if you use real estate or you have real estate land without a plan, it's not going to be productive. And if you have a high credit score without a plan, it's not going to be productive. See, most people, the biggest they can revision, that's why I tell people I repair, restore, and revision your credit. The biggest thing people can think to do with their credit is to get into student loan debt, to buy a house that's usually overpriced, and to buy vehicles. That's the highest they can think to do with their credit. And then to say, well, if I'm paying the bank's interest, then I will never get wealthy. Well, if you have a high credit score, you don't have to pay the bank's interest. See, people that tell you that if they pay, let me tell you something. People that highly advise you to stop using credit as a way to get access. Always have a way to get your money. In the end, they have a product to sell you that they will accept payment through credit card. See, when you get to other levels, I'm gonna be honest with you, you don't even need credit if you have the cash flow. Or if you have a way to get people to invest in an investment with you. For example, there's a level when you get to in real estate that even the banks won't give you enough money to invest in. Once you get past the fourplex, when you get into bigger real estate deals, bigger apartment complex, et cetera, you will need the capital of people, right? Because you may be capped out. Limit that the banks will provide to you. I'm in this private Facebook group, Multi-Real Estate Investing. And this is what Grant Cardone and this is what this young man is doing. He's asking people, look, you want to invest $5,000, $10,000, and we'll give you a monthly dividend cash flow on your investment, because you get to a point in real estate that even the banks won't give you all that you need, right? And so they have to get the money from the capital of people, and they get people to invest in their real estate or deals. And so when people get to that level, they forget that they started out with credit because they know how to get money from you. What people don't understand, you are an asset too, your talent, your skill. But sometimes, mostly all the times, to get to the wealthy level, you need networking with people that can teach you business skills. It does you no good, people, to have an LLC and a C Corp if you don't know how to keep more of the money that you make, if you don't know the tax game. That's why I tell everybody to start here with this home-based business, because until you learn how to keep more of the money that you make, until you learn the difference between cash flow and income, cash flow is just not about money flowing to you. Cash flow is about money flowing back to you that you spent out. That's why even Sushu won't help you. Because you need cash flow. You need a way to hire your children in your business and get $12,000 tax deduction. You need a way that when you put out maintenance on your home, you can get that money back. Maintenance and miles on your vehicle, you can get that money back. Your internet, your utilities, you can get that money back. Hire your kids to work in your home-based business. You don't get those advantages through LLC and corporations in most cases. But I'm not against LLC and corporation, because I just showed you all how I help someone get $24,000 out of their LLCs. I'm not totally against it, but I'm also tell people you need to be in this home-based business because you still need to learn how to keep more of the money that you're making. And I don't like Sushu because it doesn't offer any products or services, right? It doesn't offer any products or services, which is legally called a pyramid scheme. So I'm not attaching my name to that. You all wouldn't believe this, but there are a lot of people who think people that help them repair their credit is a scam. It's hard for me to believe because I'm like, wow, you haven't paid 10 creditors and you think this is a scam? So I keep my brand and my name in good standing, not on associate with things like that, right? Right, Carissa, the first thing people do, and this is why people don't believe in credit, because the first thing they do is start buying liabilities. The word lie is in liability. That's the first thing they do. Mark says I would buy railroads and utilities or start. But you know what? Martin, I'm glad you brought this up. This is what people don't understand about the land. I told you it was a difference between credit and capital, right? Or even if you start in the LLC, or even a C Corp, or even a product-based business. Where are you going to get the capital to do all that? Where are you going to get the capital to do all that? Right? Like you said, the land may come with oil on the land. You don't need capital, but you got to pay somebody to drill to find it. You got to have the money to do that. The land may come with timber. You're going to have to pay somebody to cut that timber down, right? Or you can make an agreement contract that, hey, if you cut this timber down, you do the work for upfront, then I'll give you a certain percentage out of it. Those are creative ways that you don't need capital. But let's say you want to build residential property on that land. Where are you going to get the capital to build? You start a product-based business. People tell you how to start an LLC and get an EIN, which is for free. Where are you going to get the capital to buy the products from? Are the same people that tell you credit cards are evil are going to tell you not to use the credit card to buy your products with to start your business, even if you had it at 0% interest for 12 months? Credit card debt is just so many different ways to discard credit card debt and pay less than what you messed it up for. It's just so many different ways. Bankruptcy is one. If the company charged off the debt, it's bad credit is another. Or you can simply call many creditors and ask them to negotiate. Credit can always be repaired, revision, and restored all the time, right? You just have to have, now you have to find new banking partners, but there are hundreds of banks. I prefer credit unions over banks anyway. There is little recourse in not paying credit card debt. I would never stress on credit card debt. Student loan debt, I would. Why? Because they can garnish your paycheck and garnish your taxes if you're a person that get tax return. They will go with you to the grave. You can't file them in bankruptcy. So all of the things that you want to do with your land, you're going to need the capital to do it with in most cases, unless you think of creative ways to do it. And creative ways, I teach this all the time, requires the right brain to think. And even in schools, they train the right brain, right, to think like a machine. The right brain is the creative side. The entrepreneur side, the left brain is the thinker, the logical side, more so the employee side. Robert Kiyosaki has a great book titled Why Do A Students Work for C Students? He breaks all of this down. I've done other studies. That's why they tell you to raise your right hand in school. It triggers the left side of the brain. Walk on the right side of the hallway. Get ditto worksheets. Memory, right? Memorize this information enough to pass the test that I'm giving Friday. Memory education versus creative education, right? Not networking, being solo, being in your desk, not being able to communicate with your peers to discover the answer, but getting you accustomed to working alone. I tell people all the time, leverage income is way better than labor income. But people still want to work solo. And the government rewards people who work together through leverage income. But people still believe in labored income. That's not why I tell people to start LLCs and corporations. I tell them to do that for two purposes. Number one, to cover your assets, and get business credit approval. But if you don't know the tax laws and how to keep more of the money you make, then you need to be in this home-based business. point blank. Sushu is some type of Auburn guy. It's real big now, social media. It's a flowering gift community where people contribute. Like one of them, I heard $500 and you get back 4,000. You have to wait till your line or till your time comes up. There's no products, no services offered, nothing, just a promise. And many people, what they tell you is, I know the person that's the head of the sushi, so I know I'll get mine. Or what about the people that you bring in? They guarantee that they'll get yours or get theirs? So it's supposed to be this flowering community, but I don't believe in it, and I definitely wouldn't promote it to anybody in this economy, because it may be that person's last and they're depending on a system that's, inappropriately set up, and that's more of a pyramid scheme. And usually the person or the people that get paid out are the ones that know the people that's over on the top of the payout, and people get left behind. Right? The home-based business is an one-time investment of $228. You'll automatically get a paycheck pay raise if you still. It's very similar to what President Trump is talking about, the payroll tax holiday, with the exception that it's legally and it's permanent. You get 475 tax deductions, which in simple terms help you get taxed less out of your paycheck. As an entrepreneur, you get the same benefits as owner of a McDonald's franchise, right? Or a big business owner, but for less. And you start there by getting more money out of your cash flow, and then it continues to build up levels that once you introduce the home-based business to people. And that, what I like about it, you don't have to buy products for it up front or try to, sell products and have boxes of products or inventory. There's no inventory, no overhead. It's just financial education, financial strategies to help with your taxes, to help eliminate bad debt and establish good credit. And it also helps you fight against inflation. And you get so many different multiple income streams within it. So let me share that link with you so you can do your own due diligence and research it yourself. Let me try to find that link. And this is the link to that. And you just put your name, phone number, and email, and go through that presentation to find out more about that. So, and so many people say it's my money and I want it now, but they don't think that way out of their paychecks. Let me share this with you all, and then I'm logging off because my voice is getting tired and fatigued, and I don't have my house here. But this is a great video I was watching before I did this that I want to share with you all.
Find out.
That really brings it home. Anthony says, let me answer this question. Hello, Queen. What's a good number of credit cards to have, or what's a good card to apply for if you have credit, say over 750? Home-based business advised for retired people. There are so many different people in this home-based business: retired, elderly, millennials, youth. It's for anybody that want to learn financial education, make more money, decrease the amount of money that's going to Uncle Sam, and that want to make residual passive income as well. You have the best training available, right? We have private Zoom meeting, private Facebook group, You get, to inquire, ask your question, get all the strategies you need to create a rich life and financial instruments for investing and adding more cash flow to your life. And increase your cash flow generating skills. Many people and then you get to work from home where you don't have to be concerned about going out in this health pandemic, right? Because it's not just about how much money you make, it's how you make your money, right? Passive income, residual income is taxed less than job income or employee income as well. And I was trying to find some more information, but what a lot of people don't understand, that good credit without cash flow, you still oftentimes won't get approved. And for most people that have a paycheck, this helps them to get immediate results out of their paycheck, right? And so it's just great for whatever walk of life that you're in. And it's simple, right? I do tell people the business is simple, but I won't say that it's not easy, because now that we're going through these economic times, it is easier to get people to listen now more than ever. You just have to educate and explain and expose the business. And, I tell people all the time, your money is a direct reflection of your mindset. And so for people that haven't heard of income shifting, this is great for them, because they need to know exactly what income shifting is to get more money to their household. So Messenger of God said, yes, retired Army. It's so many military people in this home-based business. You really love that. We got so many military people making great income on this home-based business. Let me show you some of them on Facebook. And I'm talking about big money. I'm not talking about small change. I'm talking about residual income, $15,000, $20,000 a month. Retired military people. This is one of my testimonials. Someone got approved through their LLC for $24,400 today. So I was glad to wake up to that email. But this is one of my military friends that's in the military in his home-based business. His name is Anthony Moore. Talks about he get 50. There's one thing about this home-based business, you get paid every day. He's showing his text messages. I said, $50 a day keeps recession away. So this is Anthony. The series, he's talking about being financially free. This is him again. Just trying to find some of his military pictures on here. He's talking about the instant pay raise, income shifting strategies. Let me see if I can find pictures of Anthony, his military stuff on, so you can know he's military. We get vehicle bonus pay, presidential bonus pay. It's just so many different. Come on, Anthony, let me see your military stuff. This is his business partner, Mr. Charles Ivy. He's also military. He used his vehicle bonus. Okay, here he is. Vehicle bonus to he actually purchased a new vehicle. He said, I am what you call essential personnel, W-2 job, but I am also a 1099 home-based business investor owner No excuses, just results. Extra digit, make the shift. Best of both worlds. So this is Anthony's military, another Mr. Charles Ivory. Then I'm going to end this video. You gotta have the critic and the cash flow, people. You gotta have both. It's another military man. Mr. Ivory's making big money in this. Let me see. Can I find his military? I don't know why it's just sending me on his friends list. Oh, photos. See how I'm clicking on the wrong. That's why. This is some of his paychecks. 500, 3,000, but he's making big bangs now as far as residual income. Let me see if he have any more. This is showing 3,000. Look. I don't know if he have any pictures of his military. Actually, he and his wife is in it. Both of them are military. Right. So both of them are military, him and his wife. Ms. Ivy's in it as well. So we got a private group. Yeah, I don't see any of his military pictures. I think he's retired now, but he's, ex-military. So let me share this video with you. And then I'm ending. I would like the link. I think I had the link. Where did I put that link? It's pretty long. I have a shorter link. Let me find that link. Someone asked me about a credit card. I need to look. What's the best credit card? Let me look at that question before I go into the video. But this is a shorter link for you. As a matter of fact, just send me a text too. If you can't go through these links, just send me a text. Just say this, and I'll get you information. 720-2063. Just text me. HBB. Just do that, and I'll give you some more information. So just text 601-720-2063. Text HBB for home-based business. And Merge, you're welcome. She said thanks for answering her question. Now someone asked me about a credit card. Let me see. Let me stroll up. Someone asked me about a credit card. I thought they did, but let me share this credit card with you all before I log off. It's if you're not already a member, or if you already don't have it, this is one I've been highly recommending. Is the this credit card at $200 cash back. Chase Freedom. And it's bit.ly Chase card Freedom. It's the website. Bit.ly Chase card Freedom. You get $200 cash back. After you spend $500 on your purchases the first 3 months of opening, I recommend spending on essential purchases, essential items. Then this is something new. You earn 5% cash back on grocery store purchases, which I love. I take grocery store purchases as essential goods and items, but it does not include Target or Walmart purchases, right? up to $12,000 spent the first year. That's big. You know, you can use your credit card like you would a debit card and get 5%. That helps fight inflation as well. When you're getting cash back rewards for using your credit card like a debit card. What I mean inflation is the increase or the rise of goods and services. Whenever there's more money stimulated in the economy, prices and products always rise. Now you had 0% intro. APR means annual purchase rate for 15 months on your purchases, right? And then after that 15 months, I highly recommend you pay your card off in full every month, so you won't receive back interest charged in 14 to 23%. Then you have 1.5% unlimited cash back on all your purchase automatically. Some cards that give you purchases give you cash back, but it has to be certain purchases during a certain month or time frame of the year. Like January through March, if you purchase gas, you get cash back. This is not so, right? This is on all purchases. So I really like what this credit card is offering, especially, you know, with your 5%, and then you get 200 cash back if you just spend 500 on your first 3 months. I highly recommend you pay it off in full every month. Purchase essential items with it. Use it like you would a debit card, right? Keep that money in your checking account and pay it off in full. Keep that money that you're not using because you're not spending your credit card, right? And pay it off in full every month so you won't get yourself in debt, right? You won't get in debt by using credit. So that's it. And I'm share this video with you, and I'm logging out.
So as a quick reminder, what we covered in the last part was the 19th century change, or the world change actually, from socialism to capitalism. And the reason that's so important is because the world changed and shifted to a 401k or pension plans is because it forced many people who were E's and S's to become investors. Like I said, my poor dad was a very smart, good man, but he was a non-investor. There's people who are passive investors, and that's what most people are. They go to their company, they just put in their 401k, and they hope and pray that person managing their money is smarter than they are. And the third type is the active investor. Now, if you're going to be an active investor, then you have to have financial education. And one of the keys to financial education, you know, a lot of people say, well, it takes money to make money. How many people have ever heard that statement? Well, that's absolutely not true, because you'll prove tonight it doesn't take money to get money, to make money. What it begins with is a thing called words or vocabulary. The English language has approximately 2 million words in it. And each of us as individuals, they estimate, has command of about 5,000 words. So one of the ways to start increasing your wealth and your financial ability is change your vocabulary. And one of the reasons my poor dad was poor, he's a good man, he had the vocabulary of a school teacher. You know, he thought gerunds and prepositions were really important. But I've never made $1 off a gerund or a preposition yet that I know of, you know. I need the difference between EBITDA, PEs, ROIs, IRR. That's what makes me rich. So just know that words make you rich. And I'll be going into right now, the basis of financial education is words. And this here is a thing called financial statement. As my rich dad often said to me, you know, this is your report card when you grow up. When you leave school, as my rich dad said, his banker has never, ever asked to see his report card yet. You know, a banker never said, say, tell me what college you went to. Are you an A student? Are you a B student? They never asked that. If you're a professional investor, they will ask you for something called a financial statement. If you're a non-investor or a passive investor, like a 401k, they'll ask you for a credit report. So to begin becoming rich, you must have one of these. I mean, it's a must. These people have credit reports. These people have financial statements. That's fair.
Right, so he's saying employees, specialists, doctors, lawyers, sole proprietors, right? People that work under sole proprietor, but they think they own a business. This is, and I have no problem with it. You might have to start out with your credit score first to build wealth, to get assets. But when you shift over here, it's no longer needed, right?
Very, very big differences here. So let's begin with words here. And one of the biggest words that people have mistaken on the wrong definition for are these words here, assets and liabilities. How many people have ever heard people say, my house is an asset? Good, that's using the wrong definition. That's the problem. So I'll give you the definition my rich dad gave me. You won't find this in the regular dictionary, but it's a very simple definition, because this is the guide to wealth. A definition of an asset is something that puts money in your pocket, whether you work or not. That's very simply it, okay?
All right, asset, something that puts money into your pocket, whether you work or not, right? Whether you work or not.
So when you look at this financial statement, this is income statement and balance sheet. There's one more form that I'm not an accountant, but basic accounting requires. It's called the statement of cash flow. And what that shows you here is this: assets are putting money in your pocket. So for example, I have a house, and every month, let's say I collect $100 from it to pay all my expenses, the house is an asset. But if the house goes unrented, and every month is now costing me money, that same house is a what? Liability. So this is the cash flow pattern of a liability. So when a person says their house is an asset, I then ask them, I say, is that house putting money in your pocket? They say, oh, no, but it's gone up in value. That shows lack of financial intelligence or financial IQ, okay? I'm not saying don't buy a big house. I'm not saying any of that stuff. I'm just saying don't call a liability a what? Asset. And that's the problem, is using the wrong word for the wrong thing here. Or I could have a car. If I use a car as a taxi and every month I put $1,000 in my pocket, it's an asset. But I have my BMW here and it's costing me $1,000 a month, it's a liability. So that's very simply.
And this is why I'm telling people, right? Your house, according to multimillionaire Robert Kiyosaki, is an asset. Once you add a liability. If you add a home-based business to it, even 20 square footage of your home office can be used, right, as an asset. Your bills and utilities. But if you don't have a good tax preparer and you don't know these laws and you're not in this home-based business that's teaching you, you're losing money. Your vehicle mileage. We have an app through the home-based business to help you accurately keep your reports for the IRS and track your business mileage through our app. Now that vehicle that's a liability to you, added to the home-based business, now it's an asset.
Yeah, so don't call asset or liabilities assets, and that's where people get in trouble. The next thing, like I said, my banker has never asked me for my report card yet. And my banker, if I'm going to borrow a lot of money from them, they want to see my financials. And what a banker is looking for is your financial IQ. They don't care your academic IQ. They want to see how smart you are with money. And it's not that I wear nice clothes and have a nice watch and have a nice house and a nice car. A banker doesn't care, because how many people know people who are looking good but are flat broke? You know what I'm talking about here? So, and that's the big problem here. So when a banker looks at this thing, the banker is looking again at cash flow. So when a banker looks at this, let's say the person has a job, the money comes in and the money goes out. They look at that, that's the cash flow pattern of a poor person. If they don't.
Okay, job, income, government, taxes come out first before it even hits your bank account. Then what you do after you get taxed, 30, 40, sometimes 50%, depends on your income status. Then you pay your expenses, your bills, your mortgage, your rent, your utilities. Expenses are the second thing to get paid. You don't get paid. You just get a deposit. There's a difference between getting a deposit and getting paid. Right? Expenses come out. And then so he said, this is the cash flow pattern of a poor person.
Don't change your pattern, don't be poor. It is not how much money you make. It is how much money you spend is the issue here. For example, I know I have a doctor friend. He makes about $400,000 a year. He's very proud. He has no debts. You know, he wants people to think that debt's bad, and that's really moronic. But anyway, so but he makes $400,000 and he spends $400,000. So even though he makes the cash flow pattern of a what? Poor person. What the middle class generally tend to do is the first thing they want to do is have a big house, and they have a thing called a mortgage. And the different definition of mortgage comes from the French word mortier, which means death. That's what it means, you know. So what happens? They have a mortgage with a nice BMW or Mercedes, so they're looking good, but going broke at it and goes, I can see your cash flow pattern is this. And this is the cash flow pattern of the middle class. It's working hard and going broke. You know, they never get ahead. They buy big houses, they do home equity loans, and they think they're Donald Trump with real estate investors. All they got is a big house they're in debt to. A lot of people use their house as an ATM machine. And every time it goes up in value, they borrow the money out. You know, that is really a loser's point of view there. I mean, that's not, bankers love you because you're greatly in debt, but that's not a way to get ahead. And this is the cash flow pattern of a rich person. They have assets here. And so generally what it is they have a business, they have real estate, and they may have dividends from stocks and bonds and stuff like that, which the interest. So those are assets. So oftentimes I ask people.
Okay, business, real estate, he said dividends, he did. And he believes in using debt to invest or credit to invest. Credit is an asset, right? And that pay goes directly to them. They're not taxed first, they're taxed on the end. And when you use credit to invest in real estate in your business, it's zero tax. When you take out a loan, right, that loan becomes a liability to your business and you get tax deductions from it to use it to invest in real estate, which means you keep more of the cash flow that's coming in from your tenant if you are renting or leasing real estate, residential property.
Well, think about it this way. If you stop working today, let's say you're married, you have a spouse. If you stop working today, how much money keeps coming in your pocket? And how much money keeps going out? All the things that are taking money out of your pocket are what? Liabilities. And anything putting money in your pocket is an asset. So the reason my wife and I could retire is very simply we have money going like this. This means we're wealthy. You know, we don't have much in savings and all that, but every month it's hundreds of thousands of dollars going like this. And that's how you get wealthy. You know, just have assets that produce money every single month. When I did this program in Singapore, I asked people to raise their hand and say, would you mind telling me some of the assets you have? And this woman raised her hand. She says, yes. She says, my best asset is my husband. And I said, ma'am, I'm talking about non-human, inanimate objects. She says, that's him. But he makes lots of money for me. You know? I'm not talking about human beings. Slavery has been, abolished for a while here and all this. So everybody's understanding between assets versus liabilities, the cash flow pattern, and that's why bankers do not ask you for your what? Report card. They want to see your financial statement. If you have a good financial IQ, they'll give you lots of money. If you have a bad financial IQ, they'll give you a credit card or a home equity loan. That's the difference here. And years ago, I went to Sunday school. I'm not a Bible scholar. I'm not pushing religion on anybody. But I remember the story of the rich man. I think he had 3 sons or something like this. And he gave one son X amount of dollars, the second son X amount of talents, he called them, and then the third son talents. And the first son blew it, got rid of all his money. And he said, okay. Second son came in and said, what you do with the money? And the son said, I buried it. And then the flip came back with, gave him $1,000, came back with $5,000. And at that point, the father, or whoever the guy was, took all of the money and gave it to the what? The third son, who multiplied the money. And that's what I learned in Sunday school is that, not God, but whoever does not like people who blow their money, people who just bury their money. See, the poor spend their money. The middle class bury their money, just put it in 401ks or savings.
All right, so he said the poor just spend their money, and the middle class bury their money. They just put it in 401ks and savings, and that is so true, right? And if you are investing in businesses and you still don't know the tax laws or tax benefit from their business, then you are nothing more than a self-employed employee that's still hustling backwards. And so financial education is your best investment. And yes, AR just come into cash flow, baby. All about cash flow. All about cash flow. Because cash flow is tax less, and cash flow is also about money flowing back to you that you spent out as well, right? I'm ending my podcast, a live stream, with this. A man, Mississippi, earning $150,000 a year. He always was in two predicaments. Either he owed the IRS, right, in taxes, or he just wanted to break even. He joined with me in the home-based business. Last year, for the first time on his gross income of $150,000, he legally positioned himself to get $3,000 back. Right? And we have some people that are celebratory with a $50,000, $40,000 gross income that's glad that they get $8,000 or $7,000 back. I would rather be the person that's making six-digit income and getting $3,000 back. That was from federal. He also got $1,000 back from state. So almost $4,000. I would rather position myself to earn $150,000 a year and get a $4,000 tax return than to earn $40,000 and $50,000 and sometimes $60,000 a year and get $8,000 or $7,000 back, and then have to claim 3 or 4 kids or dependents to get that back, which you have to feed and spend your money out on all year long, and still live paycheck to paycheck. And that's why I was saying about the SUSU. If the SUSU payout will help people financially get out of their strut and hole, why doesn't it help people who get $8,000 to $10,000 tax return? Because they don't know what assets are and liabilities, and they just spend their money. They don't know. They don't know how to create cash flow. They don't know what assets are. And they just thinking spend, and work and work. And you'll always be in the rat race, right? Oh, thank you so much. I had this guy. He always come on and complain about Trump. I don't know if he's on tonight. His name is Easy. Complain about the government. And I was doing a podcast, teaching this. And he was like, I'm about to go on Bounce and I'm going to watch Saints and Sinners. He said that twice, and then I ended up blocking him because he was just, that's not my energy. But then he wants money from the government, retired vet. But, he'll spend money on that cable bill. Right. He'll spend money on that cable bill. But he was just so excited about Saints and Sinners. And that's why he's broke and struggling. Now, I did leave my live stream and I said, let me watch it. It was good on Bounce, but that's after I took care of my business. Because I don't watch much television. Sometimes I need to balance my life and do things. I don't watch television much. And I did watch it. It was a nice show. But you're not going to flood my podcast or my live stream with that foolishness when we are in the worst economic downturn we've been in months and years. So instead of complaining about the president, ask Saints and Sinners to write you a check, right? Ask them to give you unemployment. If you're that invested in and watching them as they get paid to entertain you, that's not helping you. So, hey, you all, thanks for tuning in. This is to your peace and prosperity, your credit and your cash flow, and even more in this situation, in these times, your health and your wealth. Queen of Credit out. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for the thumbs up. Thanks for the commenting. Thanks for watching, and thanks for being great, great students. And I look forward to seeing you all on the other side. Let me see what Zeus says. On the prosperity side, right? You're welcome, Messenger of God. Thank you so much, you all, on Periscope as well. And Jesus says, I remember Rick Phillips was in a similar situation as Easy, but I think he's turned his life around. Yes, Rick was a retired veteran. Oh my God, Rick would come on my live stream and complain. LaTanya, it's so hard on here, and this is happening in California. I don't even see Rick on my live streams anymore. He said he started a what is it, Jesus? Avocado farm in California. Rick finally got it. It clicked. It hit him one day. He started an avocado farm in California, and now Rick is very seldom on my live streams. But he told me he was doing very well. Retired vet, gardening. Because I asked Rick, right? This is back to the topic. Would you take an 800 credit score, land, or cash? And Rick began to tell me, he said, well, LaTanya, I have some land in California. I said, well, how many acres? And he had a lot of acres. And I said, Rick, you are sitting on a gold mine. You have land in California and you can do agriculture with it. You are sitting on a gold mine, right? So I said, stop coming on here whining and complaining about your pay and your veteran. I said, do something with that land. A couple of weeks later, Rick told me he had avocado going on, and he had some more, half an acre. Right? Carissa said she remember Rick, and I hope Rick come on my live stream again in the future. But half an acre, and he said that he was transitioning from doing avocados to planting other fruits and produce and trees. And I said, do that, Rick. Because, people now, it's so expensive to buy groceries. And in this situation, the groceries, stores not, having supplies of food and meat and groceries in. And I said, start your own business, Rick. Get rich in this recession. And he did it. So I don't look for people that's critical or complaining, right? As Carissa said, we're choosing wealth over whining. I look for people that want to be creative. So thank you all. It's 10 o'clock. You are hungry. You're tuning in. You could have been doing anything else tonight, but you decided to invest in yourself, right? That's the best investment in life that you can make. All right. For the third time, you all have a good night. And make sure you subscribe to my channel on YouTube as well. On Periscope, make sure you share. And on Facebook, you like and share this broadcast as well. Look, if Rick is a millionaire right now and he attended my credit church, he better send me an offering. Oh my God, but that just give me joy, right? Invest in yourself. And man, look, I didn't care how many people I had on my live stream. It could have been 20 on, 30 on. That one person got it. Right. Yeah, livestock. I think we didn't mention livestock with land. I don't think we mentioned livestock with land. You're right, livestock. So much it's just so many multiple streams of income you can do with land. You have to be creative, people. In the same way we're creative. So many multiple streams of income can come from credit, but you have to be creative, right? You have to be creative. So I'm signing off for the 5th time. You all have a great night.